Hi, Taylor T. Carlson here with more Def Leppard for you. I just did a review for the Record Store Day release of a concert from the On Through the Night tour, as well as reviews for their first two vinyl collection sets. And now we have Def Leppard Vinyl Collection Volume 3. Like with the earlier sets, which I say in almost every video I do for one of these, this box is actually pretty heavy, even if that doesn't really convey over to film. So we're going to do an unboxing of this. I'm going to share some of my opinions about the release and opinions on a few of the songs as well. If you're a Def Leppard fan, I think this is something you'll probably be pretty impressed with. Cover art combines the 3 studio albums that are in here, X, Yeah, and songs from the Sparkle Lounge. There's also several discs worth of rarities. On this side, you got part of the Def Leppard triangle logo. When this set is complete and we have the 4th box, those will combine together to create the classic Def Leppard triangle logo on the spines. Then up here on the top just says, Def Leppard Vinyl Collection Volume 2. Here's the individual album spines in the box. And then bottom's just got the UPC code and copyright info. Back cover has pictures of the album covers and what all's in this set. We get X, Yeah, songs from the Sparkle Lounge. Only 3 studio albums worth of material, but then we get the extra stuff. We get the B-sides compilation that was put together for this set, a Yeah 2 album of even more cover songs from various sources, and then at the bottom we have Yeah Live, which is some of the live cover songs they did. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. Of course, first off, we'll start with the hardbound book that's included with the set. All of the Def Leppard vinyl collection sets have one of these. Got our logo here. The Def Leppard band silhouettes in the background. And like with the earlier sets, words, Paul Elliott, photographs, Ross Halfin. Ross Halfin, of course, being the photographer most associated with the band. And then as you go through here, it's got artwork for the albums, and then liner notes, plus photos and the band sharing their opinions on said releases as well. I'm not going to go through every single page of this, but I'm just going to give you sort of a general idea of what to expect here. Here's some more cool photos like ads and ticket stubs and things like that. Again, more of Ross Halfin's photos. The guy's the absolute best photographer who has really followed the band over the years. I mean, there have been a lot of great photographers that have taken pictures of Def Leppard, but Ross is probably the most famous of the bunch and best known for, I would say, probably sticking with them the longest, and then just, more liner notes and info on the bonus albums as well. There was also a hype sticker on the shrink wrap, so I just kind of stuck that in the back cover of the book there. Just kind of describes, what's in the package. So we'll go through here album by album, and I'll share some of my opinions throughout the set. First off, we have X, which came out in 2002. This release uses the UK cover, which is a black X on a white background, whereas the American CD was a white X on a black background. So there's that. Nice photo of the band on the back there, along with the track list. In here we've got, liner notes, special thanks, more photographs, and so forth. Of course, you got to have your obligatory band credits right there. Now, one issue I did have with this release, you open this up. On the one side, it has the track listings for side 1 and side 2. And on the other side, it just has the X logo from the album cover. It doesn't bother telling you which side is side 1 and which side is side 2. The side with the X is side 1, just so you know. This was a mistake they made a few times in the older set, and I'm a little disappointed to see that repeats here. Now, X, as much as I like Def Leppard, I am going to come right out and say it. This is my least favorite Def Leppard record. It's a little more, commercial, overproduced pop. And if you look at the songwriting credits, you're going to notice 2 things that are very unusual for a Def Leppard album. A, there's a lot of outside songwriters credited, and B, there are songwriting credits for drummer Rick Allen, who almost never participates in the songwriting process when you look at the liner notes and credits for older albums. They're just really aren't a whole lot of songs in here that really bring me in, make me want to revisit this album. That's not to say there aren't a few highlights. I mean, Joe's vocals and Phil and Viv on guitar sound as good as ever, but in the catalog of Def Leppard albums, it's the one I find myself coming back to the least. Still, I would say if you're a fan, give it a listen at least once. That was followed up with an album called Yeah. Yeah being Def Leppard's covers album. Seems like every band's doing one of those these days. Beautiful inner gatefold here of the band. Another photo on the back, plus the track list. I mean, I really appreciate that Def Leppard didn't just copy the most obvious songs here. I mean, they do 20th Century Boy by T-Rex. Got my T-Rex shirt on, of course. Waterloo Sunset by the Kinks. Hellraiser by Sweet. 10538 Overture by ELO. Street Life by Roxy Music. Golden Age of Rock and Roll by Mott the Hoople. He's Gonna Step on You Again by John Congos. Don't Believe a Word by Thin Lizzy. I'm not going to go through and name every single song, but those are just a few of the highlights. I like that they didn't just take the obvious route on this one, and there are some great covers to be had here. Liner notes, they even put like little fake coffee stains and coaster marks. I like how the artwork they did of the band members mimics like famous album covers. I thought that was pretty cool. Then you look at the record, this is what it looks like. Each side of the record pretty much looks the same, and this is a double album because of how many tracks are on here, obviously. And then more pictures, liner notes, credits. Here the band gives their opinions on like why they covered what songs and so forth. Covers albums are a bit overdone, but this one I actually quite like, mainly because the band doesn't just go with the most obvious tracks, so it's not one you should overlook. And then 2 years later, they came back with songs from the Sparkle Lounge. This is an album that really doesn't get talked about a whole lot. I wouldn't say this is a great record, but it's certainly not a bad record. I strongly prefer this to X because it's a little more of a rock album. Tracks on here include Go, Come On, and 9 Lives, which features a guest appearance from, of all people, Tim McGraw. Not someone you'd ever expect to hear on a Def Leppard record, but this album's actually not bad. It's a little more of a rocker than X was, so I greatly appreciate that. Then we got our liner notes and photos and so forth. And there's the records. Like this time around, kind of the same deal. It says side 1 and side 2 on one side, and then this side's just the Def Leppard logo. So once again, they don't really tell you which side is which. I mean, some albums, bands put out will say like that side and this side. I really wish they'd done that on here, made this a little easier. It's one of the few problems from the earlier box sets I was a little disappointed to see repeated here. Okay, moving down the list, we're going to the bonus material now that's not part of the conventional studio albums. This is Def Leppard B-sides. The earlier 2 box sets had rarities compilation, with Volume 1 being in the first set and Volume 2 and 3 being in the third set. So I guess they're not following that nomenclature anymore. But yeah, B-sides here. There's a lot of like, alternate versions of songs and B-sides, like, radio edits and acoustic versions. Like the first 3 sets here, I think, are all songs from the X sessions. And then these are tracks over on side D are from the Sparkle Lounge sessions. Like there's a 9 Lives version that has Joe only. It doesn't have Tim McGraw. Piano version of the song Love. And there's a song called Perfect Girl, which it says was a website exclusive. They misspelled as Perfect Girl. They left out the F, and they make that same typo several times in this box set, oddly enough. And I'll just show what one of the records in here looks like as well. Kind of the same deal. They got the number 2 for side 2 there, and then number 1 over here for side 1. So at least on this one, they labeled the record sides properly. And it's nice to get some of this rare stuff that you probably wouldn't, normally get otherwise. A lot of this stuff was on like singles or on like import versions of albums that are expensive and kind of hard to get. Next up, we have Yeah 2, sort of an unofficial continuation to the Yeah album. This is like a compilation of various cover songs that were not on that album and come from different parts of the band's career. Here's a look at the back of this. Once again, really good looking inner gatefold with pictures of the band. And, you know, each side of these pretty much look the same. I'm just glad here they actually labeled the sides properly. I'm a little annoyed by the fact that, you know, some of them are side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4, and some of them are side A, side B, side C, side D. I wish they would have just kept it consistent, although that's hardly a deal breaker in this case. And then, you know, kind of the same deal with the other record as well. A few of the highlights on here include Only After Dark, which is a Mick Ronson cover. They later reworked that for Retroactive in 1993. You Can't Always Get What You Want, cover of the Rolling Stones song. Ziggy Stardust, cover of the classic David Bowie tune. Cover of Under My Wheels by Alice Cooper. There's a song here called Who Do You Love? That's a cover of the Ian Hunter song by that name. It is not a cover of the Bo Diddley song that was popularized by George Thorogood. And then you got a cover of David Bowie's Rebel Rebel. And then two pretty obscure tunes on here, Lead Boots and 'Cause We Ended as Lovers. Then you got Search and Destroy by the Stooges. Roxanne, originally by the Police. Dear Friends, originally by Queen. American Girl, originally by Tom Petty. You know, Stay With Me, originally by The Faces. And again, a lot of these are not the most obvious cover songs, something that I really appreciate. And a lot of these came from various places, like, you know, single B-sides and things like that. And it's great to get them all in one place here. I'm a sucker for cover songs and covers albums, and I always love hearing Def Leppard do covers. And then the last set in the box set we have here is the Yeah Live set. This is just one disc, and it's covers of songs that they recorded, but these are, of course, like the title dictates, done in a live setting. Then right here you got some beautiful photos. Over here you got the band logo and a track list. And some of these songs we have studio versions of on the albums. And then just, there's what the record stickers look like. You know, you got a cover of, you know, things like, you know, Elected by Alice Cooper, Action by The Sweets. And then some of these were also done on the Yeah album, like No Matter What, originally by Badfinger, Rock On, originally by David Essex. But then there's other things too, like there's a cover of Now I'm Here by Queen, which Brian May actually plays on. Again, they cover 20th Century Boy by T-Rex. That's actually from the VH1 Rock Honors, which that show's never been officially released. Featured a lot of bands. VH1 did 3 of those ceremonies, and they've never done any sort of audio or video release for any show, so it's nice to get an officially released track from that, from Def Leppard. Then they close it out with a cover of Mott the Hoople's All the Young Dudes, which features Mott the Hoople vocalist Ian Hunter as a guest. So there you have it. Def Leppard has put out another great box set. My complaints are very minor and mostly just little aesthetic things. The music in here is great, even if it's not my absolute favorite period of Def Leppard by any means, but I don't think longtime fans of the band will be disappointed. I'm really eager to see Volume 4 when we finally get it. I assume that'll probably come out late next year or early 2023. We'll see what happens. I'm assuming that's going to consist of the 2015 self-titled album, and then probably mostly like live stuff, maybe even like a few other rarities, if there are any more, because they've been pretty thorough with these last few sets. Are you a Def Leppard fan, and have you picked up this set, or are you planning to pick it up? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel because I'm always posting new content, and give this video a like if you found it helpful or interesting. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.